Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to all of you to our live Q&A session for the course Erasmus for Schools, your path to Key Action 1 and Key Action 2 success. My name is Alexandra Albanidou and I'm the course coordinator. It's a very big pleasure to see so many of you joining us today from all over Europe. The purpose of this session is to give you the opportunity to ask questions, clarify any doubts you might have for Erasmus, and exchange ideas with peers. We hope this will help you move forward with confidence in developing your own Erasmus Plus projects. Please note that this session is being recorded so that anyone who couldn't attend live will be able to watch it later on the course platform. You may use the chat for any questions or technical issues you might have, and at the very end of the presentation, if of course time allows, we will try to give the floor to those of you who might not have their questions answered. So please stay tuned until the end. Before we begin, I would briefly like to remind you what this course is about, and then go through very briefly throughout the modules we have seen so far. And of course, right after, we will get to start the Q&A session. We are here with the course designer and moderator, Peter, to solve your questions about Erasmus. So the main objective of this course was to learn how to design Erasmus Plus projects that are realistic, meaningful, and align with your school's needs and priorities. It's asynchronous learning. That means that you can complete the modules at your own pace. We release one module every week at the beginning of each week, as you might already be familiar, every Monday at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And we guide you step by step through the Erasmus Plus journey. We have many optional interactive activities. We have discussions, we have Padlets and forums to deepen your understanding and exchange ideas with your peers. At the very end of the course, in Module 4 that started today, we also have one final mandatory activity that is relevant for those of you who want to get a course certificate. The task is to design your own Erasmus Plus project plan and to receive peer feedback as part of the assessment. Please note that this is not an official Erasmus Plus project. It's just a first brainstorming on what would you do on an Erasmus project. So it is linked with Erasmus Plus, but it is not an official submission or an official proposal. So far, we have opened all 4 modules. Today, as I said before, we opened Module 4. Our journey started with Module 1, Understanding Erasmus Plus and its opportunities. We started exploring the structure, the priorities of the program, and the key actions. Later on, the second week, we went through Module 2 and we dived deeper into Key Action 1 mobility projects. There we learn how to plan impactful staff and pupil mobilities, from identifying needs to preparing learning agreements and ensuring inclusion. In Module 3, in week number 3, we started to focus on Key Action 2 partnerships. We discovered what makes a strong cooperation project, from finding reliable partners to defining shared objectives and sustainable impact. And today we launched Module 4, which is all about managing, sustaining, and scaling your project. Now, you have enrolled to this webinar in order to go a bit deeper into Erasmus. You have some questions. We already shared a Padlet throughout the course where you had the chance to share your questions. So for this reason, we are here with the course designer and moderator, Petar Nikolic. Hello, Petar. It's very nice to see you. We collaborated with Petar for the creation of the content and the moderation of the course. He's a very, very active educator, eTwinning ambassador, Erasmus Plus coordinator. He's traveling with so many projects all the time. And it was a very big pleasure to collaborate with you, Peter, for this course. I know you have all the experience and the expertise to help us along. So please, the floor is yours. I'm sure the participants will be very interested in getting to know more about the questions that you have received.
Thank you for your kind words, Alexandra. I'm very happy to be the content creator and the moderator of this course. As Alexandra introduced me, my name is Petar Nikolic. I'm a teacher from Croatia, and I would like to thank you all for joining us today and for sharing your thoughtful questions in the Padlet of our course. So I've collected some excellent ones covering both Key Action 1 and Key Action 2 opportunities, some practical tips and real challenges schools face when applying for Erasmus Plus projects. So the plan is to go through your questions and provide some answers and examples and highlight some key takeaways to support your Erasmus journey. So I will start with the first question. So one of the questions I got in this course was how to find potential experts, how to invite experts to our Erasmus Plus projects. So is there a platform where they are listed and which we can access? There is no official platform that have all experts written on it. So, but you can easily find experts by searching for teachers, experienced teachers, expert teachers on European School Education platform, or EPALE, which is for adult education. Or you can even, what I usually do when I need an expert to my seminars, webinars, or Erasmus projects, I explore professional networks, for example, LinkedIn, and I simply contact and I kindly ask them about their availability to join our project. I mean, to provide some educational sessions related to our Erasmus project. Also, you can visit training provider websites. There are many provider websites for Erasmus courses. There are many experts delivering educational sessions for them. Also, one of the good things is to ask experienced eTwinning ambassadors in your school, in your country, or Erasmus coordinators in your country. I mean, it's really helpful. Or you can contact Erasmus ambassadors as well. So even you can do, for example, in this course, it's very good to have, I mean, you can ask questions in the forum. You can even find an expert maybe in this course forum who is available to share their expertise on the topic, you know. So also the possibilities to contact universities, research centers, or NGOs specializing in your project topics. So there are many, many ways how to invite an expert to your Erasmus KA1 project. The second question was about job shadowing. When I do job shadowing, is the learning agreement provided by the beneficiary module platform when I create the activity? Yes, from this year on, we can simply generate the learning agreement in the beneficiary module, but it's only a template. So you still have to fill in manually all the important data, objectives of the job shadowing, program of your job shadowing, also an expected outcomes and activities together with the host organization. It's very important that before the mobility takes place and starts, that all parties sign the agreement because it forms part of your official project documentation. I'm an experienced eTwinner, but have never tried Erasmus Plus. Is it easy to join a Key Action 1 project already set up by other school? And how can we do this? The easiest way is to try with your own KA1 short-term project, but also if this is not possible and it's maybe too difficult for you, you can ask and try to join the accredited consortium in your region, in your county, in your town, and you can simply ask for the consortium, maybe your national agencies, not maybe national agencies, but maybe municipality or some schools that are already part of the consortium. This next question, since I'm new to Erasmus+, where can I find a list of qualification courses to choose from? How do I apply? And what are the deadlines for 2026? You can find structured training courses on the European School Education Platform. It's an official platform, and many training courses are listed there. And it's a very good idea if you plan the Erasmus Plus mobility to check on the training courses on the European School Education Platform. You do not apply to the course first. You must first apply for Erasmus Plus funding through your school's KA1 project. And once your project is approved and funding is granted, you can register directly with the chosen course organizer. Also, regarding the deadlines, it's very important to check your national agency's website for updates on call deadlines each year. Also, if you are a newcomer to the Erasmus Plus program, there are many groups for teachers on social networks, so they share their experience from training courses, and then you can find and see the availability of the training courses and see if that's the course you like and want to attend. The next question, is there a minimum or maximum duration for job shadowing activities? There is no fixed minimum number of hours per day, but you should follow the schedule of your mentor or host teacher, including lessons, meetings, and other relevant activities. So, for example, before the job shadowing, you decide and organize everything with your mentor at the host institution. So you follow the weekly schedule of the teacher, of the teacher who is hosting you. Not only lessons, but all other things that he does at or she does at the school that week. For example, subject council meetings, staff meetings with principal, meetings with the educational advisor, and other relevant activities. For example, I participated in 3 job shadowings in the last 2 years. For example, 2 job shadowings lasted only for 2 days, because this is the minimum duration for the job shadowing, excluding travel days. I spent 2 days in Vienna and 2 days in Bari, and I not only attended and observed the lessons of the geography teacher, but I also participated in many curricular and extracurricular activities at school with the principal, with the educational advisor, psychologist, because the topic of my accreditation is to improve mental health of teachers and students, so all the activities were related to that topic. Maximum duration of job shadowing is 60 days. I spent 2 weeks in one small town near Brussels, La Louvière, 2 years ago, and the procedure was the same. I mean, I followed the schedule of the host teacher with all activities he usually does at school, his daily work, but also extracurricular activities. They organize outdoor learning, and I participated as well in these activities. So what is important is that what really matters is quality over quantity. Your job shadowing should be well structured with clear learning objectives and a direct link to your school's development goals, not just general classroom observations. The next question, is the main challenge finding the right partners or writing the project itself? Do we need to know the whole school for job shadowing in advance? I would say that both matter equally. Strong projects come from good partners who share your goals. It is very, very important to find reliable partners. And you can, test your partners by organizing the e-twinning project before the Erasmus project. This is how I started. I started my Erasmus journey in 2012. And it's been like more than 10 years that I've been doing an Erasmus Plus project. But everything started with e-twinning. I found one school from Greece, from the island of Kefalonia, and we decided to develop a project on Water Unites Us, on to improve the knowledge of students in geography and physical sciences. So from the first moment, we knew that we are reliable partners. And because everything was done step by step and everything was done on time, we didn't have to wait for partners to send their tasks. And, I think e-twinning is a very good starting point for your Erasmus Plus long-term collaboration. The hardest part for me at the beginning was motivating. I didn't know how to motivate teachers at my school. It was very difficult. They saw Erasmus only as 1 week away from school. And it took maybe some time, 1 or 2 years, for them to build experience. And now they are really enthusiastic about Erasmus. They implement all the activities in their daily lessons. It's an added value to our school, and we cannot imagine our school without Erasmus anymore. And what I would like to also mention regarding the job shadowing, is it good to know the whole school in advance? I think it's very important to plan in advance, to find potential partners, to discuss with them about the job shadowing or the group mobility of students, any kind of activity. It's very good to plan in advance and to know the partner and start with e-twinning. If plans change, sometimes even a reliable partner, they are not able to host you or do an activity with you. You can update the host in the beneficiary mode. You can always change the partner. Erasmus is flexible in this thing. Also, the question was about accreditation. Can we, if our school has accreditation until 2027, can we still apply for a KA1 project, which is a small-scale partnership project? And what are the evaluation criteria for KA1 applications? Yes, you can apply. My school is accredited, and at the moment we are involved in 2 KA2 projects and 1 KA1 project. So it is possible. What is not possible, I will also answer later. If you are accredited in KA1 you cannot apply for a short-term project KA1 This is what it's not possible. So what is the difference? KA1 it's a long-term development, continuous mobility funding. In teachers go to courses or job shadowings, students go to long-term or short-term mobilities or group mobility of pupils. You invite experts. This is accreditation. These are accredited projects. KA2 is a small-scale partnership for innovation, inclusion, and cooperation. For example, I participated in 1 KA2 project that was called Natural Risks. Are we prepared enough? As a geography teacher, I thought that it's very important to involve my students in some extracurricular activities that are actually the added value to our existing school curriculum. This is very important. Erasmus is not something that is outside the school life. It should be an added value. So what I always do with Erasmus project, especially KA2 projects, they are always connected to my school curriculum. It's an added value to the subject that I do with my students in the classroom. And then, for example, natural risks. So students had an opportunity to work on activities related to volcanoes, earthquakes, climate change. That is their official curriculum of geography. So I think this is what is very important when you plan your Erasmus. It's something that is connected to your subject, to your school curriculum, to subject curriculum. Also, when applying for accreditation, I think it's very important the relevance, alignment with school needs and Erasmus priorities. Quality plan, there has to be clear objectives, activities, and an inclusion strategy. And management is very important, monitoring, quality assurance, and dissemination and visibility. The next question is from a person who always gets around 80 to 85 points. This also happens to me sometimes, you know. I was also on the reserve list. But my projects end up on the reserve list. How can I improve? How do I define key performance indicators, evaluate outcomes, ensure inclusion, collaboration, and curriculum integration? My opinion is to keep the key performance indicators simple, specific, achievable, measurable, time-bound. For example, in this project, I will develop 3 new environmental education materials created and tested. There will be 3 new environmental education materials tested. 10 teachers will complete a digital training course. 80% of participants after the project, the report they will know more, they will be more aware of sustainability, about climate change. It depends on your topic of this. This is just an example. So you should combine numbers and feedbacks, quantitative and qualitative data. There should be outputs, feedbacks, reflection journals, interviews, etc. You should compare the situation at the beginning, before the beginning of the project, at the start of the project, and at the end of the project. What has changed? How did the project improve your school? So you should focus on clarity, alignment, and evidence. Make sure your objectives, activities, and results are consistent, realistic, and measurable. This is very, very important. The next question, I'm an English and a support teacher in a lower secondary school. We submitted our application for the accreditation last 1st October. I'd like to know if we will manage to be accredited, and can we still try for the short-term mobility program in February? So you can apply for a KA1 KA2 short-term project as long as your accreditation hasn't yet been approved. Once your school becomes accredited, you can no longer apply for KA1 KA2 accredited schools project. Instead, apply each year, accredited schools instead apply each year for funding through the accredited grant request procedure, which is very simple. We have applied for Erasmus accreditation. If approved, will we need to reapply for funding each year? Once your accreditation is approved, your school will submit a simple annual grant request each year to receive funding for mobilities and activities based on your approved Erasmus plan. You won't need to rewrite or reapply for the full accreditation again. So every year, so far it was in February, I apply for the funding for my school for the next year. So I can change the activities. I can, you know, me and my Erasmus team, we apply for the activities that we want to develop in the next year. For example, we decide how many teachers we want to go to the courses, how many teachers will go to job shadowing, how many students will go to group mobilities, will we invite an expert? This is what we write each year, but you don't have to write, there is no process of reapplying for the full accreditation again, just a simple annual grant request. Where the school can find the consortium. A school without accreditation, as I already mentioned, can also join an existing accredited consortium in its country. The consortium coordinator Often a regional authority, municipality, or experienced school applies for funding and manages mobilities for all member schools. To join, you can contact your national agency. They usually organize webinars or seminars how to apply for the Erasmus plus KA1 project. And you can contact your regional education authority. They have this information, who is the responsible for the consortium in their region, or municipality to find existing consortia in your area. So here are the tips for successful KA1. As I already mentioned, you should start with the first thing you should, sorry? Okay. Okay, so before you start your journey with KA1, you should inform your principal. You should, in accordance with your principal, you should talk about who would be the members of your Erasmus team. It's very important, so everything is transparent. And then you have to start with the needs analysis. Your Erasmus team should identify what your school truly needs in cooperation with all teachers from your school. Maybe you can create a survey or something and share it with subject councils in your school, so you can decide, do you want to improve digital skills and literacy of your teachers and students? Do you want to improve well-being of your students and teachers? Or do you want to, some teachers are bad at foreign languages, and they need foreign languages in order to collaborate with schools from foreign countries. So, or do you want to improve inclusion practices in your school, or etc. So there are many activities and many other needs that you may improve with the Erasmus project, but you have to decide with your Erasmus team and your teachers at school. And then align your project goals with your official school annual plan, development plan, or how you call it in your country, or Erasmus plan. You have to align your project goals and set smart objectives. They should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So, for example, specific, there should be you want to improve digital skills of your teachers so they can do online learning and blended learning. Maybe for measurable, at least 10 teachers will attend courses on digital skills. Achievable, you will organize a 3-staff meeting in 1 year for in your Erasmus mobility. So you have to be very specific about this. Relevant, for example, internationalization of your school will improve inclusion practices. And time-bound, you have to be very specific. So you can say, until the end of 2027, we will have all these goals up in our school. So everything will be achieved by the end of 2027. Pick the activity that supports your goals. So there are, in KA1, there are courses, there are job shadowings, there are group mobilities of pupils, there are long and short-term mobilities of pupils, and you can invite experts. So it's up to you, it's up to your Erasmus team. But what I think, from my personal opinion, it's always good to have a mix of activities. It's not good to have only courses or only job shadowings or only group mobilities of students. You have to mix, and you have to choose different people, you know. Don't take the same people in your mobilities. But when you are writing your KA1 accreditation project, you don't have to be very specific with the names of teachers, but you have to be specific about their subject, maybe how many teachers will improve their digital skills, etc. Also very important, as I mentioned, is to be transparent. Publish an open call for participants, staff, or pupils, usually at the beginning of the school year. And students usually write a motivation letter in English. You can ask questions whether they are available to be host family when they are when we are organizing a mobility with students. So similar questions. You can, but the call should be published and available to all students of your school. Ensure fair, transparent, and inclusive selection criteria. And this is very important to include the participants from diverse backgrounds, including those with fewer opportunities. Fewer opportunities, it doesn't mean that students who have some educational obstacles, but also from rural areas, economic and social backgrounds, and geographical obstacles, etc. And very important is to protect all personal data and GDPR and store securely. Very important is, when I started my accreditation, I organized some prep meetings to clarify goals, travel safety, and intercultural learning. You can also organize webinars and Teams meetings with your partners. You use tools like learning agreements, Europass Mobility, and Selfie for planning and documenting outcomes. And what is very important is to find reliable partners, as I already mentioned. You can use ESEP, but what I recommend, I would always apply for TCA events, transnational cooperation activities. You can find the list of, there's a calendar on Salto webpage where you can apply for the on-site events, some kind of contact seminars where they usually last for 3 days, up to 3 days, and you can meet potential partners and develop your project ideas. And you know, it's very interesting to meet at on-site events those partners and to develop projects with them. I had a few projects where that were very successful, and I met partners at one TCA in Düsseldorf and before that in Munich. So apply, don't be afraid of your English competencies. You know, this is also what teachers in my school, they're always afraid of their language competencies. You don't have to be afraid of that. Just make the first step. Also, it's very important to keep regular contact with partner organizations. When you are coordinating or participating in Erasmus KA1 project, Erasmus is not only about mobilities. For example, a project lasts for 24 months, 2 years, and then, or 1 year. So this is KA1 project, 1 year. But it's not only about mobilities. The mobilities are cherry on the top of your project. You have to implement activities in your daily school life, in your lessons, in your extracurricular activities. Don't do mobilities and then nothing happened. You have to keep regular contact with your partner organizations. Do e-twinning mobility, the e-twinning activity before, during, and after mobility. You know, you have to keep regular contact with partner organizations. Confirm all details early, schedules, roles, accommodations, and expectations. So there are no surprises with your host partner. Stick to Erasmus quality standards throughout the project. Disseminate results within and beyond your school. Presentations, Erasmus days, media, or school events. For example, in Croatia, we have these regular meetings at the county level, so we always disseminate what we've achieved in mobilities with other teachers from the region. Also evaluate with feedback forms, journals, and surveys to track progress and impact of your Erasmus project. Also, in the course, I noticed that people are always wonder, do we want to apply for KA1 or KA2? But if you are not that experienced and a newcomer, the best step is to start with the KA1 project, and then after that with accreditation, and then it can lead you to a KA2 partnership. And of course, ensure sustainability, integrate what you've learned in your teaching practice, Keep collaboration alive. It's not, as I already mentioned, it's not a one-time trip, but a journey of growth. Okay, and then there are some questions for Key Action 2.
Peter, before we move on to Key
Yeah.
Action 2, just to give you a quick update of what's going on the chat and the questions we
Okay.
have received so far, and to give you a bit of a pause
Okay.
because you have shared everything in so nice details. Well, we have received many questions on the chat and on the Padlet. We are moderating that. I have already started answering some questions on the Padlet to save some time, so please go back and check some responses. Well, overall, I see one of the questions that appear is how to find courses and partners. As we have shared already with Peter, one of the most common ways to find partners and courses is the European School Education Platform. I will post the links on the chat for you to explore, but also remember that you are part of a course. You can use the forums that we have within the course if you want to find partners. Let's make use of the consortium that we already have. We are more than 1,200 teachers enrolled in this course. So if you're looking for partners, job shadowing or mobilities or anything right now, please feel free to write a post on the forum of the course, because we are smaller group of people and you have more chances to find partners. Now, another way would be to connect here on the European School Education Platform. Again, you may write your posts there, your announcements, or scroll through the announcements of other schools and partners. So yeah, that is a question that comes up again and again. And also go back to the Padlet. I will start sharing some answers as Peter is going through Key Action 2. And then we can also save some time at the very end for your questions. I see that we have a hand raised here. Maybe Elisa, you can quickly share what you have in mind? We cannot listen to you, Elisa, I'm afraid. Okay, there's no sound from your side, so please feel free. Yes, write on the chat and we can move on with Key Action 2. Peter, please.
Okay, so here we have questions for Key Action 2. So as you know, there are two types of Key Action 2, small-scale partnerships and Key Action 2.2.0, which is a partnership for innovation. So you can include external experts in, can we add an expert who is not part of our organization of partner organization to a KA 2.2.0 project? Yes, you can include external experts in a KA 2.2.0 project, but only as a subcontracted service providers, not partners. Their role must be clearly justified, examples, trainer, evaluator, researcher. Limited to non-core activities that partners cannot perform themselves, in line with transparency and value for money rules. This is confirmed in the Erasmus program guide. In part, you can read in part C, subcontracting and procurement. Can my school apply for two different K210, no founder schools, just a partner school, at the same call in March? Yes, this is what I do, but there is always a limit. And this limit changes from the call to call. So that's why for the next call, you have to follow the national agency's website, and Erasmus calls regularly for the latest rules and deadlines. So as a partner, your school can apply for two different or more. It depends on the limit of the deadline. So this is very important. How do we plan budget while writing the projects, like cost of activities and trips? So it's very important that Erasmus Plus budgets are based on unit costs, not real invoices. For K210, small-scale partnership, and K220, cooperation partnerships for innovation, the budget isn't calculated by individual travel or daily rates, it's based on lump sums. You don't submit a detailed financial plan with prices for tickets or hotels. Instead, you choose a project size and budget option that matches the scope of your activities and partnerships. So you have to explain how will you allocate the money to your partners. For example, in my, I can give an example from my K210 project and K220 project, which is quite similar. For example, for the mobility in Greece, we are going in January. We are 4 countries in K210 project. And in this project part of the activity, it is written that each country will receive, now I will tell the number, 3,000 euros for 3 participants and 2 accompanying teachers. So this is how we simply explain in this K210 project. So it's not based on real invoices, and it's based on lump sums in K210 project. And these amounts cover all project activities. Your work plan and expected results clearly justify the amount you request. But what I notice sometimes, this is what you write in your Erasmus Plus application, but once the project is approved, when you have to, when your school has to give you the money, the budget for the mobilities, then it depends on your country's policies, on your school policy. So this is what you will be informed by your national agency and your school. I mean, the Minister of Finance. I don't know who organizes this kind of seminars in your country once the project is approved, and you will get all the information that are important to your school accountant, etc. But once the project is being written, you have to know that the Erasmus budgets are based on unit costs, not real invoices. This is very important to remember. Also, I already mentioned, choose the right type of partnership. So there are 2, K210, which is ideal for beginners, and K220, which is for experienced schools, larger scope, innovation, and long-term impact. I would say that in this K220, we usually collaborate with some universities, maybe because we develop some curriculums and learning materials, learning scenarios, etc. Choose partners, as I already mentioned in K1. This is also very important for K2, to communicate promptly and share your values, and use platforms that we already mentioned, eTwinning, which is on ESEP, and TCAs to find and test cooperation, and distribute roles and responsibilities in your partnership fairly. Trust and shared leadership really matter in K2 project. Also, as in KA1 project, there should be SMART objectives, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Link every activity to a real school need, for example, improving STEM or inclusion, or make progress visible and measurable. You have to go beyond words. You have to show how inclusion and green practices are embedded daily. Use digital tools, reduce plastic printing, plan activities for students with fewer opportunities, immigrants, rural areas, etc. So very important, inclusion, it means everyone participates, not only the best students. You should plan work, timeline, and budget carefully. Assign clear tasks and deadlines that match the school calendar, because if you are doing, if you are part of a partnership K2, you collaborate with schools, for example, from Estonia, Greece, Iceland, Portugal, and Germany. We all have different school calendars, so it's not easy to develop everything according to our personal needs. We have to be very, we have to assign clear tasks according to the school calendars of all partner countries, and use realistic cost estimates and link the budget directly to your project goals. Review progress regularly with partners and your accountant, because there are mid-term reports from your national agency, and then you have to really do activities weekly and contact your partners regularly. For example, in my K220 project, we decided to meet every Thursday at 2 o'clock. And we have a 1-hour meeting where we share what we've achieved during the week regarding the project. Because KA2, it's not only about mobility. This is also what I want to highlight as in KA1 project. if in K220, at the moment we are developing in my project K220 Solar for Future, we are developing the new curriculum for how to teach students about importance of solar energy. So it's not only about mobilities. We meet in 4 short-term, 2-day short-term meetings to exchange some practices and to show how we implemented those practices. This is about K220 projects. Also, I always recommend to share updates on TwinSpace of eTwinning and involve your school leadership. It's also very important that your principal knows everything about your project. Disseminate and evaluate, not only within your school. Of course, dissemination at your school level is very, very important because you want to improve your school. But after your school, we want to improve our community, and we want to share our project outcomes widely, from local to national or even international level. So you can use online webinars to share your project outcomes. Use also the Erasmus Plus project results platform for visibility and credibility, and evaluate both quantitative and qualitative feedback. And ensure long-term impact. It's important to know that once the Erasmus Plus project is finished, it's not the end. So integrate your project results into your lesson plans and school policies for the long-term impact. Continue collaboration on eTwinning after funding ends, and use your K2 experience as a foundation for future Erasmus Plus projects or accreditation. And there were some open questions. How can we integrate our Erasmus Plus project into the regular school curriculum and make it visible? I think I've already mentioned some examples. You should link project goals directly to your subjects and lesson plans. I think it's very easy for geography teachers or for human science teachers, because all Erasmus projects are somehow related to their school goals. But not only human science teachers can link the goals of the project to their lesson plans. I think we all can improve our subjects with Erasmus activities. So as I mentioned, it's an added value. Make Erasmus Plus part of everyday learning, not an extra activity. Connect project topics with the curriculum, school annual curriculum. Share results in teacher workshops and school events. Add Erasmus Plus to your school development plan. Make outcomes visible through open days like Erasmus Days, Europe Day, or the school website. And this is all I mentioned many times, Erasmus should be a natural part of your school culture. In the beginning, maybe some teachers won't be motivated, won't be very happy with everything that is being changed, but you have to be persistent, and then Erasmus will be a natural part of your school culture, and everyone will be more motivated to participate and see the impact of Erasmus on the positive school culture. I can't see the difference between a learning agreement document and the Europass mobility document. So learning agreement is what we do before mobility, and the complement is what we confirmed after the mobility. And Europass mobility is official EU recognition of what was learned, even though in the new Erasmus on 2025, in the beneficiary model, they are somehow combined now. So Europass mobility and learning agreement are very similar in the new Erasmus. We will see for the next call will it be changed, but keep in mind that before mobility, you have to agree on the schedule and the plan of your job shadowing, group mobility of students. You have to plan in advance, step by step. So this is learning agreement. And when you finish your mobility, both institutions, host and sending institutions, sign the learning agreement, complement, and it's official document of your Erasmus documentation. Can teachers from non-formal education institutions take part in KA1 and KA2 projects, or are there limitations compared to formal school teachers? Of course, teachers from non-formal educations can also participate in Erasmus, but you have to be aware of the correct sector. This course is about SCH sector, for school education. I also noticed in this course in some there were some questions in forums that related to vet sector. So this type of Erasmus in this course we are talking about is about school education for general subjects such as mother tongue, English, geography, etc., for teachers who teach those subjects. But for example, vet schools can apply in both sectors because vet schools, they also have general subjects. So teachers from the general subject part in vet school can apply for SCH projects. Let me go back to this question. If your organization provides after school or youth activities, you normally apply under the youth or adult education field, not school education, unless your organization is officially recognized as part of the school system. You can join KA1 mobilities related to your work with young people, or you can even be partner in KA2 cooperation projects with schools or NGOs. I have one project where one partner is an NGO, and it's a K210 SCH project. So partner with formal schools on shared goals like inclusion or sustainability. Just make sure your organization OID profile lists the right field as it determines which calls you are eligible for. There is one question, private school. I work at a private high school and I would like to carry out an activity with a school from Morocco, Tunisia, or Lebanon. Is that possible? And my second question is, what is the deadline to submit the project for the 2026-27 school year? So countries like Morocco, Tunisia, and Lebanon are partner countries, third countries that are not associated to the program. They can join some KA2 cooperation projects if their participation adds clear value and is approved by your national agency, but they are not eligible for KA1 mobility projects. It is very important for you to check the Erasmus guide and news on your national agency website. This part is written in part B of the program guide of your national agency's website. Check your national agency website for confirmation, but also check part B of the Erasmus guide to see correct data for these countries that are third countries not associated to the program. And that was all from my part. I hope I answered all the questions clearly. Are there any questions in the chat?
Well, thanks a lot, Peter, for this. It was very detailed. Thank you so much. Indeed, we have received a big number of questions, so it's a bit hard to share everything on this live event, but I have seen some repetitive questions. For example, we have Elisa asking us about the learning agreement, and we also had questions about the learning agreement on the Padlet. So could you please clarify if it's possible to use a higher education learning agreement for a Key Action 1 plan, or where is the learning agreement? Can it be found? Where do the participants access it? Please clarify the situation regarding this.
Okay, so once the project is approved, you as a coordinator get an access to the beneficiary model. And in beneficiary model, when you choose the type of mobility and fill in the data of your mobility, you can generate the PDF or Word format of the learning agreement. And I think this is the best way to find the example, the template of the learning agreement.
Excellent. Thank you, Peter. Also, we have some participants already in this chat that share information about their schools. This is better if you do it during the course or throughout the course forum so that you can share some more details. For GDPR reasons, it is not acceptable to share your email in this chat because it is being recorded. So please bear with us. Now, another question, Peter, for you regarding Key Action 1 and Key Action 2. We have here from Gordana that she's asking which country is more generous to fund a project, Greece, Croatia, Turkey, etc. And if you allow me to address this question, it's really not a matter of generosity. If it's a good project, it will get funding from any country. It really doesn't matter which country is more generous or not. It doesn't work this way.
Yes. So if you follow the clear rules that I've explained in the course, and you develop the project idea, and if the project idea is a good one, I'm sure your project will be approved in Iceland, Croatia, Portugal, or Germany. I think it doesn't matter.
Perfect, thank you. Also, something else that came up here. I see on the panel a lot of questions regarding good practices, good examples, what are the first steps? Well, this is the reason why we drafted and we designed this course. Please take some time to go through the course because we share a lot of tips how to get it started with Key Action 1 and Key Action 2. So you also have to do your homework and go through the course content. There is a very big number of good practices and good examples. You have to access the Erasmus platform, the Erasmus results, use the filters. If you, for example, if you are running a STEM project, you can use the filter specifically for STEM and find relevant examples there. You can also find partners and courses in the platform using the relevant filters. So please also make sure you actually go through this link that we are sharing throughout the courses to find your own examples, to find partners. You also have to do some homework to get a successful project and also conceptualize the idea of a project. So yeah, it's a lot of content, a lot of ideas, but you have to get it to get started from somewhere. The course is a starting point. As we said here with Peter, you can find partners, you can find tips, but also it needs time from your side as well to do search for ideas, partners, etc. I would close with one more question, Peter, that we have here on the Padlet about accredited and non-accredited organizations. If that works or whether all organizations need to be accredited, how long does this take? And if you can give us a clarification on that, please.
So non-accredited schools can apply for KA1 KA2 projects, which are short-term projects, and they are like from 6 months to 18 months. Or if they are accredited, they apply, they get the accreditation, and each year until the end of the accredited period, which is 2027, they apply simply every year for the funds. Short non-accredited schools can be host schools of accredited schools. I mean, if non-accredited schools are wondering if they can participate in projects if they don't have, if they are not, if they don't have a project at school, so they can still host accredited schools in their institution, but they don't have, they don't get budget for that. Everything what is paid is from the host, it's from the sending institution.
Yes.
Yeah. Was that a question? I mean, the difference between non-accredited and accredited institutions. I didn't know if I answered correctly. I don't know if I answered correctly.
Yeah, Peter, that was the question, and mainly if the non-accredited organizations can apply with accredited organizations together in the same application.
So accredited schools, they get the funds yearly, and they choose host partners according to their activities and needs. I mean, and they can involve non-accredited school to their project. Why not? Next week, I'm going with my students to Poland. This school that is hosting me is not accredited at all. They don't have an Erasmus project, but they are hosting me. We will develop activities with their school, but they don't get the budget for that. Everything that the travel, accommodation, activities will be provided from my side, from the school that is accredited and that got funded for the activity. And non-accredited school can apply for Key Action 1 to 2, or they can apply for accreditation and get a chance to actually participate in mobilities with funds. I mean,
excellent.
If that's clear.
Yeah. That answers the question perfectly,
Yeah.
Peter. Excellent. I want to be mindful of the time, so I will close the Q&A here. But please note that Peter and I will be assisting you on the Padlet. We still have some questions there from the past hour that this live event started. So please remember to go back to the Padlet to find an answer if you have posted a question there. If we have answered your question through this live event, you will not receive an answer on the Padlet because we have already answered it. We will upload the recording and the presentation on the course platform, so you can go back to it. And also, I remind you kindly that we can make excellent use of the forums throughout the course. If you're interested in finding partners, if you have more questions, please make sure you use the forums, and hopefully you might find a relevant course or a partner that you can collaborate for an Erasmus project. I would like to get a final reminder for the course deadlines. Here on the slide, I hope you can see the course reminders and deadlines for the course. I remind you that the submission phase has started already earlier today, and the final submission deadline is next Wednesday on the 12th of November. Please remember also that we have peer review for a week. So the final deadline of the course is the 19th of November, Wednesday. That is a deadline. These are the deadlines for the course, not the Erasmus. So please, if you want to get a course certificate, please remember to follow these deadlines. Now, I would like to close with a final and big thank you to our course moderator, Peter. Thank you so much for this collaboration, Peter, and for sharing your expertise and experiences with us today. That was very useful, I hope. And also a very big thank you to Maria Elena, who was assisting us on the backstage in the chat. And of course, to all of you who took some time to join this live event. It's a Monday afternoon or evening, so I know some of you might be already tired from the start of the week. Where a very warm thank you. The discussion will keep going on the Padlet and the course forums. And yeah, hopefully you will get some successful projects and some interesting collaborations from this course. A very big thank you to all of you, and have a good evening. Good luck with the course.